GM. So, uh, this is my presentation. Thank you so much for the opportunity to participate in the Winter Hackathon. Yes, so I was building an insurance app. I'm from a medical background, and so after the 2020, I was looking for a perfect solution, and I came into blockchain last year. I think it was June through Basecamp 9. Uh, and I saw that Web3 is the way to go about it. So, what does this insurance DApp do? So, this insurance DApp is where you are insured against outbreaks that may paralyze businesses, cause event cancellations, and maybe personal health, affecting personal health. Yeah. Since 2020, we saw what happened, and many people, many companies came out of business because they didn't see it coming. Yeah, but right now we know what happened, and now this is what directed me to this insurance app. Yeah, so I'm building it modularly. So I have two components. So this component uses the Pragma's price feed. For now, I'm just accepting if, but with time, I'll allow people to, I'll allow the application to someone to maybe choose if they want to use the ETH or stack, because maybe you have an agent or a Bravos wallet which has no stack and has ETH, yeah, and vice versa. So now this component is the one with the logic. Uh, yeah, so what happens, so when a user comes into our application, for now I don't have the front end, but with time I'll develop the front end the same. So after they connect the wallet, they can purchase a policy and they can select the policy. So because of this hackathon, I wasn't able to come up with many coverages. So for now, I just have three coverages. Yeah, but I can develop the. I will come up with other coverages in the near future. Uh, Maybe Hacker House or something. So next, this is just a utility function to get the policy. So after they purchase the policy, with time, maybe if the event occurred, they can file a claim to claim their premium amount that they deposited. So right now, I'm using the Pragma's optimistic Oracle for this, for this, for this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now here's the rundown of the code. This is my policy struct, uh, and then I have asserted policy, disputed policy. So these are just populated when such events happen. For now, I just have three coverage types, but with time, I will increase these coverage types to include even weather conditions or something like that. This is just for presentation purposes. I'm using a bit of error handling there. I'm using a bit of events. I'm importing some components. So when someone purchases the policy, they pay some premium amounts, and then we tokenize the policy through minting on an NFT, and then an event is emitted. An event is emitted in the process. And then when they file the claim, they can file the claim. The claim, after they file the claim, we see the coverage types. And then we emit another event with the assertion ID because they are asserting. And then disputing the claim. We can dispute the claim. Still, I'm using the optimistic oracle, and then we can resolve the dispute optimistic oracle, optimistic oracle, optimistic oracle. Yeah, so this is just a simple logic. This is just a utility function to push the prices to test if our application is working. Yeah. So practically, I'll just do it using the terminal. For now, someone came into our application. In the near future, they will be visited with a good UI, but for now, I'll just use a sendcast to call them. So these are some of my commands. I've declared it. I've deployed it. I don't need an upgrade. I've approved the tokens. So here, I'll come to purchase a policy. So I'm purchasing a policy. Yeah. So because of how it works, the purchase policy, let me see the function. The purchase policy, so it takes this enum variant, it takes an amount, this span, and a byte array. So I'm taking my third variant which is individual. This is just an amount. So now I will just try and purchase the policy, and I'll sign the transaction with my signer and see how it goes. See how the transaction goes. Okay, so I've successfully purchased the policy. So now I will head on to Voyager to see the transaction. So now here is the transaction. Yeah, so there are some internal calls that were made. These are the internal calls: Pragma Oracle, Pragma Oracle, Pragma Oracle. This is just for the price feed. And then there are some events. Okay, let me do it again. There are some events. Let me do it using the stack scan. Okay, so using stack scan, so there are 7 events as you can see. And these events are important because they tell us what happened. Like, this is my custom event called policy created. So now from this policy created, we can get the policy ID. We can get the policy ID here. You can get the policy ID. I think this is the policy ID, and now we can try and check if it returns what needs to be returned. So here is the event. Let me just see if I've taken the right key. Policy ID, policy holder, coverage type. Let me just try and do it using I don't understand why Voyager. Okay, yeah. So here, policy created. Yeah, now I can see this is the policy ID. So now I'll just come and try and input it over here and try and get the information. So now I'm getting the policy using the policy ID, the policy that we just created. So now I'll try and enter. It says it's a call. So there's no signing the transaction. So right now, I'll just use cast to ASCII to check for a certain value. Okay, let me go copy. I guess that first one isn't a string. I just want to be sure that we're getting experience of financial. So because it is felt, so it comes in parts. It comes in parts. So let me take this one. Myself or anyone else close to me, yeah. I'll just try and search it. Search for myself. Yeah, so this is the individual coverage, as you can see. So now after that, I'll just go. So we have successfully purchased the policy. We have gotten the policy ID. So now we can use the policy ID to trickle down to other functions. So I've gotten the policy. I'll just use the policy ID that we created to see. I'll try and file the claim of the policy that I created, but I'll try to maybe put this message. Let me see. So invalid individual coverage. So it's an error. It's an assertion that I've set so that you can only. So this is my assertion. So these are the only. So it will be valid if it is one of these for now. So it is not an open thing, but with time I will increase more and more coverages as the application expands. So now I will just take the exact and see how it goes. Let me just sign the transaction. So the transaction is now successful because everything so I'll just try and look at it from Voyager. I can see the events that we've gotten. So there's a transfer, this transaction is executed, there's the policy asserted. So in this policy asserted, there's an assertion ID, there's a policy ID, and there's the claim description that I'm getting. So this is the event that I'm emitting from here after the assertion. Policy asserted, as you can see, because we'll be using this information to trickle down to our other function. Like here, when we want to dispute the asserted claim, we are picking the dispute, we have to use the assertion ID. So now I'll just replace my other assertion ID with the current one that we've gotten. So now coming into my script, I want to dispute the asserted assertion. So I'll use this assertion ID and try to dispute it. So I'll try to dispute it. So This is now how it goes. So it is raising a not authorized to dispute. So this is where I'm starting to use the, I'm continuing to use the Oracle. Not authorized because you cannot dispute your own claim, as we can see over here. Not authorized. Okay, let me just copy and paste it. Okay, cannot dispute your claim. So here, the disputer is the same as the asserter. You cannot dispute your own claim. So let me use another account to sign the transaction. I can just use _2. Let's go to _2 so that the disputer and the asserter can be different individuals. Let me use it to sign the transaction now. I'm just using a different signer for it. So the transaction is successful. Also, I've disputed it. Copy. Let me just check it using Voyager. So here is now where I'm using the Oracle again. So there are these events that are being emitted. Policy assertion disputed. So there's this request ID that we'll be using. I'll just copy it. We'll be using it in the ancillary to push the price here. So I've now disputed it. So I now want to resolve the dispute, and resolving the disputes, we are using the ancillary from Pragma Oracle. That is what I'm using for now, because it is optimistic, but I hope in future it will have ZK so that I can even automate the process. So here I can resolve the dispute. So how this goes is that if the dispute has not been disputed before, it automatically resolves it and refunding the asserter. But if it was disputed, so we are going into the Oracle. So for now, we'll just be pushing the price. We'll just be pushing the price to the Oracle. So now we can say that we'll push the price when we push it. 0 is false, 1 exponent 18, it means it's true. So for now, we'll just take the false one and push it. I hope I've used the correct request ID. Okay, so I've pushed the price. So now the asserter, so if it is 0, it means it is false. Yeah, but there are several events that we've seen that are being emitted in the course of our test that are assisting us in the testing process. Like here, policy disputed. Okay, it's an event. So there are several transfers that have happened. There are several transfers that have happened. Okay, let us just continue. So now I've pushed the price. Let me just try and check it using Voyager. Check for the transaction. Okay, so these two events, I think they are from the Oracle. Yeah, I think they are from the Oracle. The price is pushed, indicating whether the dispute, the assertion is true or false. For us, we have set the assertion as false. So now we can just resolve the dispute. Now we can just resolve the dispute. Okay, resolve dispute. Let me see the arguments that it's taking. Resolve disputes. Okay, it's taking assertion ID. Let us just give it an assertion ID that we've used. We file the claim. So now I'll just come here, dispute assertion. Now I'll resolve the dispute. I'll just take the assertion ID that we got from the events that we fired. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so this is now the resolution. I'll just go to Voyager and check. So it has resolved the dispute. You can see the events that are fired. There's transfer pending. There's the assertion settled. That settles the assertion. This is the event. You can see the field, the assertion ID, the bond recipient, and the settle caller. Okay, so now this is it. So now to wrap up the presentation, I'll just go to my contract address on the same Voyager and check all these transactions, just a rundown of what has happened. So these are all my calls that we made. Purchase policy, file claim. I think we started with this one. The transaction hash is this. So because we are tokenizing the policy, this is why we minted an NFT. So for now, I've just set the NFT ID to be the same as the ID. And this one, I'm using Poseidon to generate the hash. So now this is the NFT. I can go to the NFT and see. This is the token ID. This is the creator, which is our contract address. So we have minted it. So now the owner is 0 because they claimed it. But if they hadn't claimed it, because after I hope I implemented that functionality, after resolving the dispute, let me see. After resolving the disputes, we are banning the NFT because they are not the holders anymore. That is why the on buy is blank for now, because we are checking after we have resolved the disputes. So the other events that took place, there was a transfer, policy was created, a transfer, token was converted. So I'm calling this for the price feed for now. Yeah, I'm calling it for the price feed for now. So that is just the first one. The second transaction is where we are filing the claim. So this is the transaction hash. We are filing the claim. So these are the events that are happening. Their transfer, the assertion. Let me just go back to check. These are the transactions that are happening. Token transfers that are happening in the process. So this is the bond. When filing the claim, for now the bond is 0 for Pragma Oracle, but there is the assertion fee which is being deducted from our contracts, so that is why we had to approve it. So I think that's all. So I'll just prepare the slides and give the slide presentation. Thank you so much.